Hi, today we're talking about the Harvard approved diet that can help to reduce your risk and even reverse chronic conditions such as heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and obesity. And once I learned more in depth about the research around this diet at Harvard, I switched from following a vegan diet to the one we'll talk about today. Hi, I'm Elle. I help women to manifest their best level of wellness by aligning with their natural cycles. So there was a collection of 12 studies that have followed 1.5 million people for 3 to 18 years who were following this particular diet. And the results were analyzed and published in the British Medical Journal. The diet they followed led to a reduced mortality in general and a reduced risk of dying from cardiovascular disease, heart disease or stroke, and cancer. There was also shown to be a reduced incidence of Parkinson's and Alzheimer's diseases. This diet is recommended by most healthcare organizations and providers, and it doesn't focus on calories or limiting calories, as we know that not all calories are equal. Instead, it focuses on the consumption of whole foods found in their natural state that are as fresh as possible. It's a diet that's high in fiber and nutrients. If we look at the food industry today, it provides low cost, easily accessible, but ultra processed foods that have minimal nutrition content. This diet focuses on fruits, vegetables, minimally processed whole grains and legumes, and moderate amounts of nuts and seeds. It minimizes or excludes meat, dairy, eggs, added sugar, and processed oils. It's an evidence based dietary pattern centered on whole plant foods as close to their natural state as possible, with an emphasis on preventing, treating, and reversing disease. So, what is this diet that is so backed by research and highly recommended at Harvard? It's the Mediterranean diet. Although it has a strong focus on plants, it's very different from the vegan diet. The vegan diet, of course, excludes animal products, but there are no guidelines around minimizing processed foods. Many vegan foods, especially meat and dairy replacements, are highly processed and include additives that the body just doesn't know what to do with. When I was following a vegan approach, I found that I became addicted to the highly palatable processed foods like fake cheeses and meats. I still eat dairy alternatives, but ones that aren't processed or are minimally processed, such as very simple ingredient probiotic nut cheeses that don't contain any natural flavors, yeast extracts, or modified starches. Don't get me started on the fake meats. What I love about the Mediterranean diet is that it focuses on what kinds of things to include, such as colorful vegetables, so that you're getting lots of phytonutrients and antioxidants to help prevent disease. The Mediterranean diet also encompasses movement and socializing as a large part of the approach to health. It's been shown to reduce weight, reduce cholesterol levels, reduce cardiac risk in a number of well documented clinical studies. It also focuses on unsaturated fats like olive oil, whole grains, nuts, and beans. It also encourages the use of herbs and spices instead of using too much salt. The recommended intake of fish and seafood is twice a week. Any more than that hasn't really been shown to have increased benefits. It also includes occasional dairy products, poultry, and eggs. It eliminates packaged and processed foods, simple sugars, sweets, sodas, and greasy foods. With the Mediterranean diet, you aim to get between 5 and 8 servings of fruit and veggies each day, and this ensures high fiber and lots of phytonutrients. Taking this a step further, Harvard professor Dr. Walter Willett helped to create what's known as the Harvard Healthy Eating Plate. This is a guideline for nutrition based prevention of disease, and it recommends a quarter plate of healthy proteins. This could be whole food, not processed, plant proteins such as tofu, almonds, or lentils. Plant based proteins ensure that you're getting a better ratio of those healthy polyunsaturated fats compared to saturated fat. This leads to a better blood cholesterol ratio. When we eat meat as our main protein source, it leads to a higher risk of heart disease. There was a long-term study that looked at 30 years of dietary patterns with both men and women, following 130,000 people and measuring the risks of certain proteins eaten. It was found that the most unhealthy form of protein is processed meat like sausages and hot dogs. Then, after that, too many eggs was also found to be unhealthy, followed by unprocessed meat. Then, dairy, fish, and poultry were all about the same level. Plant sources of protein have the lowest risk of leading to disease. This includes legumes, nuts, and soy. Nut milks with no added sugar and no additives can be healthier than full fat dairy because of the reduction in the saturated fats. The Harvard Healthy Eating Plate also encourages whole grains such as steel cut oats, whole grain sourdough bread, brown rice, quinoa, and millet. Whole grains are much healthier than processed grains because they include the bran fiber along with vitamins and minerals that lower the risk of developing type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and weight gain. The Harvard Healthy Eating Plate also encourages fruit and vegetables. It's been shown that the risk of heart attack declines with higher consumption of fruit and vegetables. The emphasis is on whole fruit rather than fruit juice, which is lacking fiber and has high sugar. Studies show a clear relationship between the higher intake of fruit and vegetables with longevity. In fact, there is a continuous benefit for adding an extra serving of fruit and vegetables each day. Whether it's 3, 4, or 5, the benefits build with each additional serving. The Harvard Healthy Eating Plate also favors liquid fats like polyunsaturated fats, which contain omega 3 and 6, over saturated fats. It's recommended to replace butter with olive oil or another plant based oil, such as avocado oil. There was a study that compared three types of diets, and the people following the Mediterranean diet using extra virgin olive oil as their main source of fat intake had a 25 to 30% reduction in cardiovascular disease. There was also a lower risk of type 2 diabetes, some cancers, along with a better cognitive function. When you're looking to reduce or replace saturated fats, such as meats, in your diet, it's recommended to replace them with whole grains or unsaturated plant based fats, not refined carbs. Finally, the Harvard Healthy Eating Plate recommends plenty of water for hydration and not soda or milk. Beverages are an important component of this eating guideline, as sugar sweetened drinks are very much linked to chronic health issues like obesity and diabetes. You can try herbal teas as well as water. The eating pattern of the Mediterranean diet, along with the guidelines of the Harvard Healthy Eating Plate, helps to maintain a healthy weight. Refined carbs, red meat, and sugar sweetened beverages have the strongest relation to weight gain, while fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and yogurt have the lowest. The Mediterranean diet is one that you can maintain long term and not feel deprived. The long term outcome of a diet is so important. A study of three groups showed that compared to a low carb diet and a low fat diet, people could stick to the Mediterranean diet after 4 years, while the groups following the low carb and the low fat diets did not maintain their results. If you're a woman, your hormone cycle can influence your cravings all throughout the month. And there may be times in your cycle that you may want to lean into the types of food that fall under the in moderation category, like dairy or meat. While there are times in your cycle when your resolve may be strong to eat really clean and healthy. Check out some of my other videos for when the best time is to start a cleanse if you're a woman. I hope you enjoyed learning about the Mediterranean diet and the Harvard Healthy Eating Plate. You'll take a huge step in the right direction for your health if you can begin to incorporate more color in your diet in the form of whole fruits and vegetables and reduce your consumption of processed foods, saturated fats, and simple sugars. Wishing you the best of health.